as we make this blessing. Or maybe we should call it a reconstruction zone. As you know, we had an accident with the fire suppression water system, which flooded fully a quarter of the Buddha Hall. It's all being cared for, and it's taking its sweet time. But we are going to celebrate and bless anyway. In fact, we will be doing our blessing while they are still restoring the Buddha Hall. They will be installing the carpet in the main hall today. We will do a procession past the insulation and past the carpet rolls so that we can bless them as we go by. And our hope or aspiration, no hope, our intent is that we will generate so much merit from this beautiful ceremony today that we will be able to accelerate this reconstruction so that by the time we're ready for the next blessing, it is completely ready for use. So if we all hold that intention together, we will, we'll see where that goes. So I want to lay out the program very briefly. It's in 3 parts. Today we will start, or right now we'll start here sharing a little about the Buddha Hall, hearing from people who helped make it happen, particularly, and also from our guest, Geshe Gendun Samdup. We'll take a short break. We'll do a procession then to the Buddha Hall with everyone taking offerings or the monastics carrying arhats who will find their home, their final home in the Posada room. There's 1 room available to us. At that time, when we finish with that ceremony, we'll come back here and have lunch. And then later in the afternoon, if you wish, we can, Geshe will be teaching at 2:30, and we invite you all to stay for the final teaching. So there's many ways to stay involved, many ways to create a lot of merit. And most of all, today is also about thanking for all the people, all the things that have, unbelievable, that have made this happen. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to start, as we always do, with a motivation that Venerable Sangye Kadro will lead for us.
Okay, so let's take a few moments to settle down. Bring your awareness into this space, into this present moment. You might want to take a few deep breaths and release any stress or tension, anxiety. And let go of any thoughts not related to what we're doing here right now. Thoughts of the past or future or other places. So we're going to be doing a number of activities today, such as making offerings to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas up in the Buddha Hall, and reciting some prayers, sutras, mantras. These activities are virtuous, but we can make them even more virtuous, more powerful for bringing benefit and happiness, not only to ourselves, but to others, to all living beings. And we can do that by having a really positive, altruistic motivation for what we are doing here today. So every living being, human and non-human, are basically the same in certain ways. One way is we all want happiness. We all have the wish for good experiences, the fulfillment of our needs and our wishes, and just good states of mind, happiness, well-being. So we and every other living being are the same in that way. And conversely, we all are the same in not wanting even the slightest problem, discomfort, pain, bad experience. So nobody wants suffering, nobody wants problems. And see if you can feel how wonderful it would be if that could come true. If all living beings could have the happiness, the well-being they wish for, and be free of all the suffering and problems they don't want. And then go a step further and feel the wish that you could make a contribution towards that. Feel the wish that the things we're doing here today will bring about peace, happiness, well-being, freedom from suffering for ourselves, our family members and friends, and all other living beings. And if you're able to accept the idea of enlightenment, awakening, then you can bring that in as well. Wish that everything we do here today will help all living beings get closer to that sublime, perfect state of full awakening. Okay.
Thank you, Venerable. So building a temple, a Buddha hall, is no small feat. 17,000 square feet of a Buddha hall, no small feat. It takes gathering conditions, merit, resources, and it took years actually in the planning before we even got to digging the hole in the ground. So to remind us, to help us rejoice, we have about a 10-minute video of clips from not the very, very beginning, not from when we first started meeting with Tim, or when Venerable was walking the ground saying, where are we going to put the Buddha hall? That we don't have, but we do have from about 2020 on. So we'll take about 10 minutes to see some highlights that will give us the framework of what we're doing today. For folks online, just one more thing. That we don't have. We're zooming, we're broadcasting this via Zoom, so the quality is going to be not so great for you. If you would rather go to YouTube, you can't. You'll have to go later. Okay, thank you. Broadcasting this via Zoom, so the quality is going to be not so great for you. If you would rather go to YouTube, you can't. You'll have to go later. Okay, thank you.
Let's set our motivation and, really bring our attention to all of us together building this building for the benefit of all present and future Dharma practitioners, and so that they can have a place where they can bring our attention to all of us together. let's set our motivation and, really bring our attention to all of us together, building this building for the benefit of all present and future Dharma practitioners, so that they can have a place where they can practice, a place where the Vinaya can flourish, a place where we can have retreat and daily meditation and everything that we need to create all the facilities that will facilitate attaining awakening. We have to go through so many permits. You need permits for the water, fire system, the septic system, electrical, a building permit. So we have to fill out all those applications, get all the permitting done.
A group of us were just outside digging in the snow with spoons.
This morning, we got the building permit for the Buddha Hall. Yay! We're going to do a blessing of the land where the Buddha Hall will be built. So that will be July 17th.
The Abbey wanted to build the Buddha Hall more than 2 years ago. We started, plans were in motion, and then came COVID. But now, everything has come together, and we're about to begin the Buddha Hall.
Together we'll build the Buddha Hall!
So now that they're pouring concrete, it's real.
17,000 square feet. Wow, that's big.
We're out here getting ready for a big wall pour. We'll have 14 trucks coming in here. As you can see in the background, we've got 16-foot tall walls.
With the Faz wall, the building will be very strong and hopefully will last a long time.
It's 85% wood, and then they mix in a concrete kind of gravel mix, and then there's this insulation piece. Then the wall is actually 1 foot thick, and this is going to prevent forest fires from eating up the building.
It's quite remarkable when you look out there and you see the beginning of the Buddha Hall. It was difficult during winter because it was an especially heavy winter, so lots of snow, lots of ice. It was hard for the guys building the walls because it was at that time that they were building the Faz wall, and so it was very difficult for them. Once the weather got warmer, then got really excited because then we could see each week something changing.
The stucco people are starting to prepare the lower part of the building for stucco. On May 23rd, the trusses started arriving at the Abbey. On May 31st, none of the Abbey people had any idea that they were going to start flying the trusses that day. All of a sudden, coming up from the valley is the first truss. It's just amazing. So you can see, it's just so beautiful. I'm quite sad, actually, that eventually this is all going to be closed in. So it's been quite a journey to get to this point. Every day, there's more and more progress. And with all of us coming together, it won't be too long before we can begin to bring in the holy objects. And we're just thrilled that now the pace of construction is really at full speed. So we can't wait to have you come and visit and to have you come here and practice with us in the Buddha Hall.
We're bringing a little piece of Buddhist tradition, and especially from old Tibet. These ornaments are right now being made in Nepal, by traditional artisans. And the first thing you're going to see at the entrance is a parapet on which there are 2 deer and a dharma wheel. On the roof itself, there are these 3 ganjiras, and they are representing the 5 Buddha families. Once the roof ornaments arrive here, we're getting them spray painted by a local auto company.
We've got the Dharma wheel painted, and the 2 deer are in Priest River getting painted, so it's pretty soon that those roof ornaments will go on the parapet on the east side. The crane arrived early, so they decided that they would start with the largest roof ornament first. It's the crowning of the Buddha Hall, and I think you'll be very taken by these roof ornaments that will lead you into the main entrance to the Buddha Hall.
One of the important rooms is what we're calling the posada room.
And this is where the fully ordained monastics will do their bi-monthly ritual of confessing and reciting the precepts. So there's so much natural light in this room.
What we'll be doing this afternoon is we'll be moving the Tibetan Buddhist canon into the new Buddha Hall.
Of course, that room will also get used for guided meditations when lay people come. We have a bigger library, we have a modern library.
In this area, there'll be places like study carols, chairs against the windows. So it'll be a very lovely, well-lit area of the library. And then over here, from the windows on, will be more stacks of books. So this is the Tara room, and the way we decided which room would be the Tara room and which would be the Posada room was determined by the very beautiful offering of Tara paintings. There's 21 of them.
The Tara practice, there's something about Tara that really appeals to people. We need a larger space where the whole community can practice.
So if you're familiar with the meditation hall, it's about 3.5 times larger than that. So the elevation between the floor and the peak of the ceiling is about 22 feet.
Even though the Buddha Hall isn't complete, the shelves in the main hall are quite high. And so while we have the use of something called a scissor lift that will carry us up to the heights, we'll put them in place in the Buddha Hall.
Peter's been working very hard on creating the 3 main statues for the main altar.
The central statue is Buddha Shakyamuni.
The 2 standing statues that are going to be on our main altar, the Venerable Ananda and the Venerable Mahaprajapati Gautami, who is the first Buddhist nun.
The Buddha statues are waiting in the barn.
It's going to be a place where Buddhists from all over can come together and really act as one voice in sharing the Dharma with the world.
The clips that you can see on the wall, these will hold the acoustic panels. It's going to help make the sound balanced in the room and beautiful. So it's going to be a magnificent room to hear teachings in, it'll be a magnificent room to chant in.
Where people can come and learn the Dharma, practice the Dharma, build a spiritual community. Someday, when we're able to give bhikshu and bhikshuni ordinations, that'll be in the big hall. Part of our purpose here for the Abbey is to establish, to root the Buddha Dharma in the West by having a monastic community and make this a place where for years and centuries to come, many people can come and practice. So for the community and all the guests, the Buddha Hall will be really quite a significant thing that facilitates the learning and practice of the Dharma.
Thank you, everyone. Together we have built the Buddha Hall, and now we're going to practice in the Buddha Hall. Please come.
It gets me every time. I'm so sorry. And so does the introduction of the foundation, the visionary, the leader, the person behind whom we have followed as long as we could, as much as we could, with the fortitude that we've all needed to do so, to keep up with, as was said way in the early days, hanging on to the tail of this comet. Our founder and our abbess, Venerable Tripton Children, can share with us about the Buddha.
So what am I supposed to say? Except, I hope it's going to be over soon. Yeah, what we have been through, nah. It started out with so much inspiration, and for that, I really have to thank our architect, Tim Wilson. Because I think Tim's enthusiasm and commitment to the project helped sustain us when we got to the stage of working with the contractor. And also, Venerable Tarpa and Venerable Ho-Ho, aka Venerable Samten. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing that the two of them are still standing after all these years, because the Buddha Hall was going to be done in 1 year, you know, and now it's 3 years. So more time to practice transforming adversity into the path. Yeah, it wasn't total adversity, I should say. It's a hard work, you know, to do this kind of thing. But when you keep your mind focused on the end result and the benefit for others, then it gives you the joyous effort to continue. So it's kind of like just when you're doing your regular Dharma practice, you know, if you just think of, oh, I'm sitting and my legs hurt, you know, let's do something else, you don't get very far. But if you think, oh, I'm going to Buddhahood, you know, that's a long-term goal, and that's where I'm directed at, then you get over the aching knees and the distracted mind, and you keep practicing. And so we were able to continue building the Buddha Hall in that way. And I think one of the happiest things was when the first time we were able to go into the Posada room and chant together, and you could hear all of our voices in harmony in the beautiful acoustics, you know. And oh yeah, this is why this building was built, and to be able to welcome all of you to come and practice together with us in the building. So there's many more people to thank. Yeah. I'll let somebody else recite all the names. We do, every 2 weeks when we do Lama Chopa, we recite the names of the people who have contributed in any kind of way, financially, volunteering, and so on, to make this happen. So thank you all, and enjoy today. It's so exciting. You know, I told you about these little moments that make it worthwhile. I went into the main hall this morning, and the guy was laying the carpet for the second time. And I thanked him profusely because I was so excited to see carpet coming in. And then another guy was around the corner helping to clean up. I think he's going to lay the padding. So this was, again, just a delight today. I mean, when seeing carpet getting laid excels your mind to higher states of bliss. Okay, so I think I better stop here.
Thank you, Venerable Chodron, and also thank you to our main, Venerable Chodron, Venerable Tarpa, and Venerable Samten have been the main carriers, along with help from many, many, many people. We can't list names, there's too many. But Venerable Samten is actually going to speak for us on behalf of that team, I guess, and to talk a little bit about the process or something. Something.
Well, I'm so glad I got to the Buddha Hall this morning before Venerable Chodron did, because they were playing heavy metal music so loudly. It sounded really good in there, but it was... Oh, they were still playing it. Okay. Anyway, it is a Saturday, and they're doing this work installing the carpet on a Saturday. And it is the second time. Well, actually, for the lead guy, it's the third time because they had to come in after the first time to fix the... Anyway, it's going to be a very well-laid carpet, and we're going to enjoy prostrating on it. So, first of all, there's so many people to thank, so many donors. There's hundreds and hundreds of people who have committed financially with prayers and dedications. And a number of years ago, we used to know most of the names of the donors. We would know them, you know. But now I would say we know very few of them, and most of the people donating now we don't know. So it is our sincere hope that everyone who has donated in any way, offering service. There's people in the room today that put in the rocks around the building. That was a very strenuous job. That they can come to the Abbey and see it and experience it, come for a retreat, come for a day visit, and just to see what has happened over many, many years. So then there's all the people who physically helped to build the Buddha Hall. And you know, I've come to see that construction is a very demanding profession. In moments, it's grueling. And yes, there's machines, they help here and there, but it is the human body that lifted every single Foswall block into place. And there's a Foswall block just outside this door. So if you're online, you'll have to come to the Abbey and see it. But each block had to be put in place one at a time and glued and screwed in. And then rebar goes in, and then it's filled with concrete. So just the tasks involved. And we've gotten to know many of these people just by going out. Venerable Chodron would go on inspection because her home is right in the construction zone. And then I'd be the person going around, you know, thanking them. Venerable was thanking them too, but keeping them on their toes. But I was more in the thanking mode. And often they would say, you know, I'm so happy to be doing this for you. We want you to have a beautiful building. And there was one person in particular, his name is Robert, and he was doing the stucco. And so even the other construction guys were commenting to Robert what a beautiful job they were doing on the stucco. Robert was even surprised because construction guys don't talk to each other. You know, they just kind of do this. But they were commenting on how well and how beautifully they did the stucco job. And Robert said, I will quote, because I want to get it right. One of the many times we were thanking him, he said, they feel blessed to be here to do this work. And then he said, you know, your religion is really foreign to us. They don't get it. But they're learning a lot from the interactions with us. And so that was very interesting. And then Robert came back in December to check out the stucco. It was a cold December day, and we were walking around the deck looking at the stucco, and he just stopped and he looked out, and then he said to me, this is a miracle. So Robert, the stucco guy, Then we have very good friends now through the team of acousticians from Chicago, Threshold Acoustics. Scott Pfeiffer came out for the first time in October of 2019. And then in February of 2020, the whole team came out to talk to us about how we're going to get beautiful sound in the Buddha Hall. Because basically, if the sound doesn't work, there's no point in building the building. You'll see Venerable Chodron's lips moving, but that's about it. And you'll get the vibe, but the words of the Dharma are so important. So this has to be beyond perfection. So now I've really upped the bar for the Threshold. They'll be coming back sometime soon. We're not sure when. I'd just like to point out that a year ago yesterday, this is a skill testing question for the community. What happened a year ago yesterday? The roof ornaments went on the roof. And that was a very exciting day. And then it was exciting just to find the automotive people to paint the roof ornaments gold. And this ended up to be a little automotive car painting place in Priest River, a very small town close to the Abbey. And then here's another skill testing question. What happened on April 22nd, 2019? We went to Tim Wilson's office for the first time to start talking about the design of the Buddha Hall 6+ years ago. And what I've noticed over time in just our interactions with Tim is that he has this amazing skill to listen carefully to Venerable Chodron and Venerable Tarpa and to translate their visualizations and aspirations into architectural drawings that really are bringing to fruition what their hopes are. I'm so glad they didn't ask you to have the building levitate, Tim, because I know that you would have worked hard to do that, but it would have been maybe a bit beyond. Some of the things we asked for were a bit beyond, but you did it. So Tim not only designed the Buddha Hall, he designed Shenrezi Hall, the building we're in right now, and his first project was Gotami House. So we have this very long relationship with Tim that's going to go on for a very much longer time, endlessly. And so we're just delighted that Tim is here today to share some words with us about his experiences. So come on up, Tim.
Thank you for having me. Filled with gratitude to be here, to have experienced the process of the Buddha Hall and also the buildings before. First, just want to kind of say it's a beautiful day out, and I'm thankful that it's sunny out, because I always said many times, I'll come up anytime as long as it's sunny. So the last few days have been raining, at least in Coeur d'Alene. So I was kind of hopeful. I'm like, well, but I am so thankful to be here and have worked with the Abbey group through the years. It has been a long relationship, and it's been one of my best experiences for sure in my career. And I want to say that everybody has become friends to me. So this is a project that has a ton of heart to me. I can tell you at the very beginning when we first interviewed, I saw the project as, and I think I used the word that this is a project of a lifetime. And it is truly that for me. And I wanted to say, congratulations, we made it. Like, we're there, but I'm like, almost. We're so close. We're so close. But we were also close about 6 months ago. But it has been a process, and just from my end, it's like I view it a bit like life. It's solving the puzzle, and I think that I'm pretty good at that. Not saying life necessarily, but putting pieces together in the building industry, talking with the clients. It's been a wonderful experience from my end. I believe that I've grown in many ways just being up here. I feel at peace. I can tell you right now that this normally makes me very uncomfortable speaking in front of a group, but you are folks that I've come to know, and I feel very comfortable here. So I'm filled with love for everybody here. My heart is full. I am so excited that I was able to do as many projects that we have together, and sounds like maybe there'll be more to come. I still have a lot left in me, have experienced a lot of life in the time that we have worked together. I can tell you as a group, this is the most sophisticated, educated, and most meticulous group. Most meticulous group that I have ever experienced, and I guarantee that the contractors have experienced as well. Everybody has gotten a good education. I can tell you that. I mean, nobody looks at drawings, contracts more than the Abbey group. And I commend you for that, because most people just rely on the contractor to take it, and that was a long process on this one. But it's a matter of pulling a lot of people together. And I would say that, I mean, you talk about design on this, it is a community design. That is where I spent time listening, and that's why I believe it's a success. It is not a project about me at all. It's just, I was here to put the pieces together, help solve the puzzle. And there was some challenges along the way. But some people would call them problems, but I never look at it that way. It's a chance to solve a puzzle. And I think we've done a really good job of that here. And I'm happy to talk more about it, but I just mostly from my heart just tell you thank you for having me here, and you've welcomed me into your community, and I feel very warm and welcome here, and I love to be part of being here. Yes.
And then we'll now invite some wisdom from Geshe Gendun Samdup. I want to give a little introduction, Geshe-la, in that he and Venerable Chodron have been friends for decades. We have experienced this week what a remarkable teacher he is. He visited the Abbey once before in 2004, and at that time there was very little here, and he immediately went to work helping to lay the floor downstairs in Ananda Hall. So his fingerprints are on the Abbey from the very beginning. It's just been a long time since we've had him here. So in addition to being the personal attendant to Serkong Rinpoche and being an exceptional Dharma teacher, Geshe-la was also the architect of the new Gendun Jangse temple in South India. He knows about buildings, both physically and also more profoundly, he knows about the spiritual content and context. And so we'd like to invite Geshe-la to come speak with us along with his very wonderful interpreter, Nima-san.
It's wonderful to be here today in front of you all and sending warm wishes. it's a little bit nervous in front of Anila, Venerable. So today we all are gathered here about the Buddha Hall. So I would like to talk a little bit about the Buddha Hall and the importance and the significance of having a Buddha Hall. No. So it is very significant to have this Buddha Hall, and as spoken earlier, the importance and the significance of having this Buddha Hall. And what is the main purpose of having this Buddha Hall is in the flourishment of Buddha Dharma and to benefit immense sentient beings. So benefiting immense sentient beings, and so when we say sentient beings, it includes all the 6 sentient beings. So and that is something very unique and outstanding about it. It's not particularly having any kind of division or demarcation. It encompasses the all sentient beings. What I see here is that to benefit all sentient beings, that when we delve deeper into that, there's so much profundity in it, because you want to benefit anyone that has a life that moves. So you want to benefit that. And so that is something very profound. So in terms of the sentient beings, the human beings and the animal beings, so when we try to look into the human beings and human beings that came from any of those 4 directions, coming from the north, south, east, west, any of these directions, it is one thing that is common to all of the human being is wanting happiness and do not want any kind of suffering. Although we all humans wish to have happiness and how to seek that happiness, every sentient beings employ different kinds of methods in order to attain happiness for themselves. And then in terms of suffering, every human beings, they want to remove the suffering, but they do not use the proper methods. And they use wrong methods, and that's why the suffering perpetuates. So when we look closer into this, seeking happiness and not to have any kind of suffering, that's a one thing. But most important thing, other than seeking that happiness, how can I make my life, this life, purposeful and meaningful?
자산디 인도가나다 된데 미지 기버다 된다 템버치 중요하게 체도라 아니 나란주에다 간다 단다 부터 홀때 두스제 조준식이 왔어.
So, in order to have this happiness and in order to have a meaningful purpose of your life, and that is the primary reason why Buddha Hall is there.
자산디 인도가나 된데다 미지 기버다 된다 데버테 지 규메버다 게메버 때는 연구요 말 간다 디트벨에 인지미지 간다 교대 게인지 참고거래 교대 게인 참고도 간에 된데기 규겐들이 양아란수에다 지 류기 자와이네레 ngāga chāwa tōrna lūngā yīsūngi te chāwa tamche sāngbyu chāchili ya gyurtuba yīna, jituba yīna, āni mīzi kība tuyanda taba chītāng, di yungu yorwāsa.
So, in order for the Buddha Hall to be established and also to have this flourishment of happiness and the meaningful purpose, it has to come into place by various causes and conditions that is conducive to have that. So in order to do that, it is imperative that one needs to engage one's body, speech and mind into a virtuous activities.
지금은 된데 간주 룡아 유승기 저와 탐지 지금 가서 상주는 많이 버시 녀배 철로 접이는 딜레테네 아니 동네 탐지다 녀도 상만 딜레테네 용되기도 왔어.
On the other hand, if one utilize one's body, speech and mind into non-virtuous actions and activities, then it is only going to give you suffering.
자산 디 인디가네 다 된데기 디 인디가네 유겐디기 계층부처게 있어서 다 단다 공도 쉬반나시 대 규칙단 개인증들 때는 연구에 순서 공도 때문에 가서를 당부대 체식군이 체식구 아니 당분에 따지 된데 중나산배 안일하게 두스나 아니 되네 지 아버지 얘기 아버지 아니 통계 좀 얘기 통계 좀시 된데 규대게 망보질 때는 대중도 왔어.
So to have this Buddha Hall, various causes and conditions have interplayed for its existence, and so for mostly the founder here, Venerable Thupten Chintala, with her visionary plan, and she has envisioned this, and then her envision came into place with various conducive conditions, like having a great architect team, and all of the labors that collectively work, and all the team here, everyone here has collectively worked together in order for the Buddha Hall to be established. Also, all the sponsors.
근데 이거는 다 미자진 부차래. 아니 계층부 인당 가르르세나. 다 근데 계층부 이거는 단대기 두수 뒤qab라. 아니 다 뒤배 계층부를 섬서 ting도서.
And that's why it has become precious and is also significant. And the reason why I say it is significant.
가서나 단대 두수기 내단 될이야 잠링디나려다 투셔되고 아니 지기 가서르다 남해다 되베 온게 줘야기 답베디야 지금 바르베 값지체 아니 된데 시디 주베기 상조부터 냠베값 두수 된데 지러 왔어.
And why it is significant is right now we are in the current situation of the world where there is so much upheaval and there is so much change of everything, and there is so much desire, people wanting to have different desires, and there is so much distractions. Under such circumstances, this Buddha Hall became significant. So in terms of the external environment, there is so much change, environmental change. And within this environment, the living creatures that exist within that, there's also so many changes that's rapidly happening. So under these kind of upheavals and circumstances, this Buddha Hall becomes significant.
kuyudan dinar nini semjen chashi gore indugana da dige 상만을 야 시디 중에기 딱 간다라 kuyu 지다 dige 상만을 시디 tornyegi kuyu 지간다 kuyuni 차되기도 왔어.
So in this world where we have the external environment and also the living creatures that exist within that, it is important to have this significant place where we find peace.
그래서 디디간에 디세. 디디간에 된데기다 시디 중에기 간다는 간수 kuyu 다 부다 홀이 이내래 디낭이야 다 간다라 냠내 진이기 남부서 이내래 디소르 된데 나야 삼매나 단데 뒤즈들이야 지 야동 몸위에 용래 뒤즈 차디도 왔어.
And so from personal point of view, I feel that having established this Buddha hall is significant because it becomes a peace zone, and also whoever comes in to practice in the Buddha hall is also sustaining the peace. So what I think is that this kind of existence, like Buddha hall, even hundreds and thousands are there, it's still not sufficient.
다 딜레 셴베 지 kuyu tornyeda 아니 심쟁기 딱 간다라 소리야 체와 진이기 주전시세 내디 지기연의 망다에 뒤지러 왔다.
Under such circumstances, even on the other level, if they are living creatures that destroy the environment and that also creates harm to other living creature, even having one single being is also very destructive.
다양의 딘데 진이 지기연의 망다에 뒤서 레샤슬람나 마치진 출로도네 양고의 진이래 뒤서 요르다스야. 냥가 요르다스.
So this kind of statement that I just made could cause some controversial. When I leave from here, people might take it, but
no. No. 디 인디간다 딘데 딱 간다라 자신 버셔다 게치 뭐 책이 순서 디다 공도 주변에 되게 정말 규칙다 연식을 되는 두바 말을 간다 규계 망고 소인데 근데 되게 상만을이야 규계 정에 남아서 상만을 하는 게 도지체다 안 지수요.
So with this, I would like to conclude my speech, and just like I indicated earlier, there are so many, to have this Buddha hall, so many causes and conditions has to interplay together. So I thank each and everyone who have put their soul and contributed this to Buddha hall. I really thank you all, and I rejoice in all your activities. Thank you.
And so I don't know that we even need to mention how much merit it takes to build a Buddha hall and how much merit is generated in the process of building a Buddha hall. And I have a slightly long quote. I won't read the whole thing, but I'm taking it from Foundation of Buddhist Practice, Volume 2 of the Library of Wisdom and Compassion by Venerable Chodron and His Holiness the Dalai Lama. They say the scripture on discernment, Vinaya Vibhanga, describes 7 virtues derived in relation to substances that are meritorious, imperceptible forms. These things: offering a residence to the Sangha, offering a prayer hall to the Sangha, offering cushions or seats for the prayer hall, offering food regularly to the Sangha, offering food to travelers and guests, offering useful items to the sick and to medical professionals, and offering food to the Sangha at the monastery. The Buddha praised these virtues as being, quote, of great fruit, highly beneficial, splendid, and enormous in nature. The merit of those who offer these will, quote, unceasingly increase at all times, whether they are walking, sitting, sleeping, or waking. So the merit generated by these, not just hundreds, thousands of people involved in creating this Buddha hall, may it bring great benefit to every living being and peace to our world. Yeah. So that's our mini dedication for the time being. I will go ahead and invite Venerable Chodron and Geshe to go to the hall and go ahead and do what you need to do. We're going to take a little break, and we'll let them go out first. But we'll take a little break. Don't move yet. Let our teachers depart, and then I'll do the next step explanation.